Welcome back, folks, to the most must-see Q&A video on YouTube. Welcome back to hashtag AskGSM, episode 189 here today. Though today, it's not hashtag AskGSM, it is hashtag AskJason. For the first time since December, the first time in 2017, and one of my most esteemed, the most wonderful guests in hashtag AskGSM history. Always a blast to have you, Jason.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir. Always a pleasure. Good old Mega Powers handshake there, brother. Can I be the racist Hulk Hogan? You get Macho Man?
That works.
Though, Hulk Hogan never held the Intercontinental Championship. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Jason's lacking some championship gold. We'll change that in the near future, despite the fact that he was the one that got this for me. But nevertheless, cheap plug, check out the greatest reveal for a gift ever. The video I put up 2 months ago right here on YouTube. The reaction to me getting this championship belt from the one and only Jason, the illustrious Jason. That's here on the channel from a few months ago, so check that out. But nevertheless, let's get started here with episode 189 of hashtag AskJason here today. If you want to send in a question, tweet me on the Twitter machine. It's very easy to do so at WrestleRant with the hashtag AskJason, more often than not. On Facebook as well at facebook.com/graham.gsm.matthews. Leave a comment on the post. I usually put up on Tuesday nights. We're recording this on Tuesday, by the way. And I appreciate everybody who sent in questions ahead of time for today's episode. I didn't put together any Facebook questions for this week. That was kind of my bad. I didn't have the time. I just forgot about it. But they will be ready for next week. And finally, last but not least, send in your questions via YouTube by dropping a comment on this very video in the comment section down below. I'll include it in next week's edition. So we're going to go back and forth here with our answers to your amazing questions. We'll start off here with at AP450 from YouTube. Her question was, when do you see Victoria going into the WWE Hall of Fame? Well, I will say this before we answer it. I know she was at SmackDown recently. I know she was at SmackDown at a show, and they denied her going backstage for some reason. I'm not sure why she would have heat with the company or if it was a misunderstanding. I know she's on good terms with them. I've seen her at like Hall of Fame ceremonies and shit, so not sure why that happened.
The pics.
That's what I was thinking. The picture of the video earlier, but there's something going on there. But I do think we will see her in the Hall of Fame at some point. She is more than worthy. If Beth Phoenix could go in, who I like a lot, and Beth Phoenix is great, you would agree. You know, a little too early. But I think if she could go in, Victoria could go in as well, including the stuff that she did in TNA. But WWE doesn't really acknowledge that, regardless. But I do think it's only a matter of time before we see her in the Hall of Fame. And they're running out of women anyway. We already have Phoenix in, we have Linda Blazin. Great finisher. The Widow's Peak was amazing. Yeah, awesome finisher. So Peyton Royce, uses that as her finisher too. The Widow's Peak is it's a spider thing, and she's like the tarantula or whatever the fuck her thing is. But anyway, do you see everyone? What?
Psylocke? Is it the Psylocke one?
Who? Peyton Royce? No, that's Billie Kay.
Oh, sorry.
No.
She's the Poison Ivy one.
Yes, Poison Ivy. Yes, exactly. That's why she uses that finisher. But do you ever see her going in the Hall of Fame?
Definitely. She was, to me, had more of a impact than Beth Phoenix.
I would agree.
That's when I watched. That's when I was. Victoria was around when I watched it, of course, but and I think you too. But
yeah, for a little bit.
Beth Phoenix, I was like,
Victoria was better, but I like Phoenix a lot, so I didn't have any issues with her going to the Hall of Fame. That's me personally. But also, I'm such a dickhead. Before we go to the next question from AP450, Jason, I just welcomed you to the show. But I didn't have you reintroduce yourself to the viewers here. Where can the people find you on YouTube and where else?
Nowhere else because I hate social media, but other than YouTube. But Blue Eye Disorder. I just basically talk about very happy subjects and upbeat things such as Tourette's and clinical depression, and also share music and story times and night terrors. So nothing but positive, happy stuff.
Pumping up that PMA, Jason.
Yeah,
always is. I love it.
It's so PMA.
It's a great channel. Check it out. He hasn't done a video in a month, so I'm kind of.
I haven't had my place to myself. This is the first time I'm getting a chance to record.
All right.
Because the family's gone.
Because he has so much free time on his hands. He has so much free time on his hands. Just kidding. One of the most busiest mofos I've known. Met. But anyway, so check out his channel. Click on my bell to subscribe. Just kidding. I don't know how to do that. So just go to the channel. Blue Eye Disorder here on the YouTube. I'll figure that out. What'd you say?
I like upside down. Yeah,
upside down. Well, yeah, for the camera, but for me, it's facing. Anyway. Next question from AP450. If it were up to you, would you save Joe versus Lesnar for SummerSlam? So I don't know if you're saying that they should have saved it from Great Balls of Fire for the SummerSlam show, or they should do a great name, by the way. Or they should save it for SummerSlam, like part 2 for SummerSlam. Either way, I was fine that they did it at the July pay-per-view. Depends where they go from here. We really have no idea coming off of Monday night. I would assume they're going to be setting up Braun and Lesnar, despite the fact it's Joe and Reigns in the number 1 contenders match next week. I really hope Braun comes out, beats the shit out of both guys, and we get a 4-way at SummerSlam. That would be the best way to go. But yeah, Joe and Lesnar, we have to have another match. Whether it be a 4-way or even another one-on-one match. Because that match on Sunday was one of, if not the best Lesnar match I've seen in quite some time in a few years.
It wasn't a squash match.
No, it wasn't a squash match. Joe beat the shit out of him more often than not for the better part of the bout, and Lesnar barely came back with one F5 and one almost on a fluke. So Joe, as he had said on Monday, he was not defeated. He was merely escaped by Brock Lesnar. So we'll see what happens going forward, but I would love to see Joe and Lesnar part 2 at SummerSlam, if not a fatal 4-way. Jason?
Agree.
Next question. Man, a few words, Jason.
You said everything I would have said.
Okay.
No point.
Her next question, do you think that you would still, this is a great question, do you think that you would still be a wrestling fan today if you started watching a few years earlier? Have you thought of what your life would be like if wrestling was not a part of it? Jason, would you like to start that off? And when you started watching, I know you said it here before on the show, but if you started watching earlier, would you still be a fan today?
I watched it right when it started. I mean, not as big as like the Attitude Era. I mean, no, I watched that, but we didn't have anything else. That's all we had at the time, so we didn't know how bad it is until you look back.
I love this guy because he hates the Attitude Era almost as much as I do.
No, I don't hate it.
Neither do I, but I know
it's just that was my childhood, and it's just sad because you look back now. It's kind of like a movie you loved as a kid. You watch it now, and you're like, ugh,
it wasn't as good as I remember.
1996.
You said, right?
I watched it all the time, starting in I think mid to late '95. But I did watch it on and off when I was like 7 or 8. So if I don't think I could have watched it before then because Raw didn't debut till 93.
Mm-hmm.
So I really wouldn't have had a chance to see it before then. But
okay.
I'm sorry, what was the question? Do you think you should
if you started watching a few years earlier, would you still be watching now? Like, you started watching when it started to get good. Like, I mean, she sent this in before I said that you were coming on the show, so it's more specifically tied towards me because I started watching. Yeah. No, but in your case, though, it also kind of works because you started watching in around 96 regularly. Yeah. But before that, the product kind of sucked. I mean, 95 was terrible.
Jake the Snake and Ultimate Warrior and Hogan. When I watched.
In the early '90s and shit. Okay, but you skipped over all the bad stuff in the early '90s too.
Yeah, but I mean, '95 was considered one of the worst.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's considered the worst years.
Yeah.
I watched that.
So okay.
But I didn't know any better, so I mean, I probably still would be a fan because I didn't know any better.
You'd still be a fan, okay. Yeah. And also, what would your life be like without wrestling? I mean, you're still in the music and stuff, so it wouldn't be that drastically different.
It probably would be art, music, and
movies
and paranormal stuff.
Good shit like that.
I probably would have been a cop a lot faster.
Really?
Yeah. Probably would have studied criminal law and all that.
Interesting. Would have taken a different path.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thing to consider. I don't know if my life would have changed that much, but I will say that without wrestling,
I probably just went into more movie. I mean, I don't know how to answer that. Like,
you'll never know.
I don't know.
Yeah, you just don't know. Yeah, I'll probably say the same thing. I honestly have no idea.
I wouldn't have been watching like sport.
Yeah, like baseball and shit. Yeah. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't really care.
Other than FSU, I don't really watch.
Yeah, like who cares for that shit?
Well, anything. Oh, nothing. I heard something. Chupacabras.
Anyway, for me personally, it would obviously be a lot different because wrestling is my first and not only love. That would be sorry, Haley. But it would be a lot different. I mean, I was still in the writing even before I started watching wrestling 9 years ago, so I would probably still be pursuing writing in some form or fashion. But I don't think I would have gone to the college I did. I definitely would not have met the people I did.
You think you would have been a sports journalist?
No, I don't think so. I still would not have liked sports. I played baseball as a kid even before I started watching wrestling, and baseball was not for me. I could tolerate baseball pretty much over anything else, and I'll watch the Super Bowl, but I still could give two shits about sports. I'm a lot like Kevin Owens on Talking Smack, where he's like, the only team I know is the fucking New York Giants, and that's it. Yeah. I don't watch any other sports. Hockey, baseball, basketball, you name it, I don't watch it. I don't care. But
if UFC was around, I probably would have been. I mean, it was, but as big as MMA is now, I probably would have got into that if it wasn't wrestling.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I would say the same thing, but the reason I started doing mixed martial arts and getting into UFC was because of wrestling. It was the next closest thing. So I don't even know if I'd be into that. I'm not even exactly sure. My life would be completely different. Like it's not even night and day. It's like night and like.
We would have still met.
I don't know.
I mean, I work.
If I was working there. I mean,
Well,
I guess me working there had nothing to do with wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe potentially.
They wouldn't bond over the Muppets, but you know.
Excuse me. The Muppets are the greatest. Is the greatest movie of all time. They're the greatest entity of all time. Jason just doesn't want to admit it. But anyway, next question from Amanda. Her next question was, who is one indie wrestler / tag team you would like to see in NXT / WWE, not including guys with the Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, and not including Bobby Fish and Adam Cole. Bobby Fish is already in NXT, spoiler alert. He's debuting on TV in the next couple weeks. That's probably why you said that. Adam Cole's probably on his way there too. I know you don't watch too much indie stuff, but is there anyone? Suicide's from TNA?
What happened to him? Oh, he went to TNA? Not Suicide.
Homicide?
No. Shit. I don't know. I can't remember his name now. Oh, Kid. What the? Oh,
Kid Cash?
No, he was really big. A couple years ago, everybody talked about him on the indie scene, and he went nowhere. Kid Ricochet.
Ricochet? Oh, he's still big. Not as big as he was.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh, that's a good one, actually.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I didn't put him down on my list, but yeah, Ricochet's pretty great. He's still one of the world's best guys, and I'm shocked. He'll be there eventually.
Ricochet and Maven.
Oh, Maven. Yeah, the guy's working a fucking bar in New York. The guy's embarrassed to be a part of wrestling, apparently. Like, if you ask him for an autograph, he'll tell you to go fuck off. It's like, fuck you, buddy. That was your, like, source of fame anyway. Not my problem that you weren't any good, but... Yeah, no, that's a good one, because she didn't say Lucha Underground. He's in Lucha Underground now as Prince Puma.
That show's still on?
Yeah, it's a great show. It's on Netflix. You should watch it. Anyway, so yeah, Ricochet's a good one. Keith Lee, if you know who he is, I think you do. I think you know who he is, Amanda. I'm pretty sure you do. He's pretty great. He's been at Northeast Wrestling shows from what I've seen. He's awesome. JT Dunn's another guy. He's also really good. I'm gonna say Pentagon Jr., also from Lucha Underground. I talked about him on a random video blog a few weeks ago. Same show I met Jake the Snake Robertson. Got an autograph from Mr. Jason here. But yeah, Pentagon, JT Dunn, Keith Lee, Jay Lethal, but he's in Ring of Honor.
PJ Williams.
Who?
I mean,
Petey Williams?
Petey Williams.
I don't know. He said he retired. I think he might be done. I'm not exactly sure. I thought he might have come out of retirement, but he was great too. I'm actually kind of shocked that WWE never gave him a look. But that was before they started the whole indie boom that they're doing right now. But yeah, those are a few guys I would like to see in WWE / NXT though. Rusty Rages, and also Donovan Dijak, who was in Ring of Honor, but he's not there anymore, and Leo Rush. But I think they're all going to NXT soon. Rusty Rages regularly from I think from Twitter.
Rusty Rages.
That's a mouthful. I think I put down from Twitter. He might have sent this in. No, he sent these in on YouTube. I put down Twitter by accident because he also sent in Twitter questions. His first question was, how long till Impact / GFW / whatever they're calling themselves this week are out of the wrestling business?
3 months.
You give them 3 months? I mean, people say that all the time. Honestly, I thought the closest they came to being done was late last year when Billy Corgan was this close to buying the company and rebranding it, which they have since rebranded, but they're fucking rebranding to a dead brand. GFW started, quote unquote, a couple of years ago under Jeff Jarrett. The fucking thing went nowhere. He's like, oh, we're going to have a wrestling boom with the GFW. And the fucking thing went nowhere. They taped all this TV that never made the air. And they're going to be airing that footage on an upcoming one-night only pay-per-view. Well, guess who's on those tapings, people? Eric Young, who's in NXT. The Bollywood Boys, who are on SmackDown. Bobby Roode, the current NXT fucking champion. Literally half the people they have in those goddamn shows are in the fucking WWE. Like, why even bother airing it at this point? Like, it's just so stupid. I mean, I want to see Impact succeed. I want to see wrestling succeed. But Impact is a dead fucking brand. GFW is a stupid-ass name. You can call someone Harold. You can call him Mark. You can call him George. I don't care what you fucking call somebody. But if they're a failure, if you're a disappointment, that's not going to change anything. They need new management. Which, I mean, I know they got rid of Dixie Carter, but fucking Anthem Wrestling ain't doing them any favors. They have a fucking woman beater as their world champion, and they're not going to suspend him. They didn't suspend Jeff Hardy 2 years ago. Allegedly. Yeah, Chris Benoit's allegedly a murderer. Yeah, like, I know it was a different management. It was different people in charge a few years ago. But if they didn't get rid of Jeff Hardy's ass, despite how big of a name and how big of a draw he was 6 years ago, and still is now, but at the point of his popularity, the peak of his popularity in 2011, if they didn't fire his ass back then for fucking up in the main event of a pay-per-view and giving us a 90-second main event with Sting at Victory Road 2011, then why the fuck would anyone expect for them to suspend or fire Del Rio? He is their last hope. For them, in their eyes, but he's not. The guy's damaged goods. He was nothing ever in WWE. He's not going to be anything in TNA. He's a joke. The company's a joke. I'm sorry, that's an extended answer to your question here, but I don't know when they're going to go out of business. I honestly don't really care, because I want to see them succeed. But all this shit that they got going on with fucking creative and more so behind the scenes is just stupid. Like the stuff with the broken shit and their legal battle with the broken Hardys is so dumb. Just let them have the shit. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. I just think it's so stupid. But you give him 3 months, though? Deep breaths. Any other 2 cents?
No, that's perfect.
Did that remind you of, what's that movie we watched a couple months ago? Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
Yeah.
Get your fucking luggage. What was it? What is it?
Start by wiping that fucking dumbass smile off your rosy fucking cheeks. Plane, Trains, Automobiles.
Great movie.
You need to watch it. Steve Martin, John Candy.
Classic.
Never seen it.
No.
Had him watch it.
I was a fan of the movie. Loved the movie. Jason's like, oh, well, I've never seen that movie. And I'm like, dude, how the fuck have you never seen this movie? It's a great movie.
Right there on my DVD.
Yeah, because I bought it for you for your birthday. That's a fucking pathological liar. Next question. Speaking of Impact, who on the Impact / GFW roster would you want to see in NXT / or WWE NXT, if any? Yeah, I know you have no idea who's in the company anymore.
Oh, Lashley? No.
Yeah, I put Lashley there. Lashley's gotten a lot better. He's great. He, along with Samoa Joe, could be, Joe obviously was and still is, he could be a real threat to Brock Lesnar. If you watch how he's been booked and his mic skills have gotten a lot better.
He's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. He's the Black Ryback. I'm sorry.
No, he's a lot better than Ryback.
Oh
I like Ryback. No. He is so much better than Ryback.
He's bigger than Ryback, and he still sucks.
He's a lot better than Ryback, and I like Ryback.
Lashley, of a dead model.
Other people on the roster, EC3, obviously, the former Derek Bateman.
God.
I would love to see him as EM3, Ethan McMahon III. That would be great. The long-lost child of Vince. That'd be amazing. And it actually could work if they call him Carter, because they've acknowledged Dixie Carter.
Gross.
Now they've acknowledged their presence on the network, so it's not like she doesn't exist anymore. Eli Drake, dummy. Yeah, he's awesome. Well, I've talked about him a million times. I love Eli Drake. Would love to see him in NXT. He was there before Sean Ricker. He went nowhere. You have no idea who he is. Magnus, who I think was there, then he left, then he came back. I'm actually kind of shocked.
James' husband, right?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of shocked. He never got a look by WWE or never got a tryout or anything. He's very good. I think he might be gone though. I haven't seen him on TV in about a month or two. James Storm, I think, could be back at some point. I know he said recently in an interview with Triple H that the door is always open, despite the fact he went back to Impact early last year. But the door is always open. So again, yeah, Bobby Lashley, James Storm, Magnus, Eli Drake, EC3. They're not going to be like mega superstars, maybe other than.
Storm will be.
He's already like 40-something years old.
He'll be the next Cassius Ohno.
Oh, no.
Just a big, out of shape dude that does nothing.
Wow. Not a fan of Cassius Ohno.
No, I am. I like him when he
wins.
Doesn't do anything.
Who will Kenny Omega face as his first challenger for the IWGP US Championship? I have no idea. I know you have no idea what we're talking about.
I know what I know what that is.
I know, but they just came out.
Who he is.
I know. They came out with a U.S. Championship in Japan, and Kenny Omega won it. And that's, by the way, for people that are saying that the only reason AJ Styles won the U.S. Championship was, I saw Don Callis or something from a podcast. He does a podcast with Blam Storm, and he said he's from New Japan too. He does commentary for them. He said the only reason that WWE did that was to create debate as to who the better U.S. champion is. WWE does not give a fuck about what Japan is doing. No, they do some certain stuff, and they take over AJ and Nakamura and people from Japan and shit. They don't give a fuck who their champions are. They do not give a shit. They did that to boost business for their live event shows. Because if they wanted to create debate with AJ Styles becoming the U.S. champion, they would just do it at the fucking original pay-per-view in 2 weeks, the Battlegrounds. That's stupid. Don't even say that. That's dumb. Stupid logic. I honestly have no idea. They might just have him defend the title in Ring of Honor, I heard. Anyone in Ring of Honor would be cool. Kenny Omega against... God, I don't even know who's there anymore. I was going to say Bobby Fish, but he left. Adam Cole's gone.
Same guy who had a match in Japan with the broomstick.
Yeah, Kenny Omega, that's him. Yeah, he's the cleaner. That's him. I honestly have no idea. I don't even know who's on the Ring of Honor roster anymore.
Don't care.
Next question. What do you think of Wrestle Circus hosting a show on the video streaming platform Twitch? Could you see that happening if it did well? Happening more if it did well. I'm not really sure what Wrestle Circus is. I've heard of it. I've never watched it. It is interesting that they're doing a show on Twitch. You know what Twitch is? The gaming service, the live streaming shit. That's interesting. I'm actually kind of surprised no one's done that before. I don't know how well it's going to work. I know that's mostly for like video games and stuff, and mostly when people go live with shit like that, they do it on YouTube.
Well, they're kind of like a lot of people are leaving YouTube to start channels on Twitch.
Oh, okay.
Because of the whole
copyright.
Stupid.
No,
the
monetization thing.
Yeah. Yep.
The money making thing. So. Yeah, I mean, it's worth a shot. Anything to kind of do anything outside the box is always welcomed. And his last question here, what are your guesses on who will be selected for next year's Hall of Fame induction, class, whatever bonus will China ever get in? Who do you think is going in next year, Jason?
Owen Hart, hopefully.
I'm actually kind of shocked they didn't go in this year. They came with the DVD for him like early last year, last year. So I'm actually kind of shocked that he didn't go in, but I guess the wife's all like, oh, I don't care if they came with the DVD for him. I wasn't a part of it. He's not going to Hall. It's like, who the fuck cares? Put him in Hall of Fame.
Owen, Victoria.
Victoria would be a good woman, yeah. I'm shocked Demolition's not in yet, but hopefully they'd be a good pick.
Doink. No.
Hey, if Coco Beware's in. The fucking Godfather's in, Doink can go in.
Trump's in, for God's sakes.
President's in there.
Yeah, that's the only two I got. I can't think of anybody.
The two people who were supposed to go in this year, but they didn't have enough room, or they already had enough people or whatever, so they could put him in next year. Christian and William Regal. God, I hope Regal goes. It's only a matter of when and not if he goes in.
William Regal?
What?
Nothing.
Excuse me, William Regal's my favorite wrestler ever.
I just asked if you liked him.
I know. You're being sarcastic.
I gave him a finger at a Nitro.
I know, I still haven't forgiven him since.
Nitro. Looked right at me and I gave him the finger. It was great.
You're gonna tell me you did that the next time I see him. Next time I meet him.
I don't know if he'll remember. He might have been,
Huh? What was that?
My itchy nose.
Sure. Patron's doing coke anyway, I heard. Patron, Del Rio.
Allegedly.
What? Why are you defending this jackass?
I'm not defending him. Shit. I agree. I'm
allegedly.
Just saying.
Chris Benoit's allegedly murdered. Jimmy Snuka is allegedly a murderer.
He goes off on everybody, no matter who they are. I just,
Del Rio was fucking crying like a bitch, like, oh, WWE, they're a bunch of pussies coming to my restaurant.
Because they didn't make you or push you.
Shut the fuck up. Dude, they brought you back on a downside of millions of dollars, but you didn't deserve it. They wanted a new Latino star, so they brought your old ass back for some reason. You did nothing. Get the fuck over it. They paid you so much money. They gave you every opportunity to get over, and you failed, so get over it. Next question from Emmanuel. I'm kind of piggybacking off of Jason here, who's going to be in next year's Hall of Fame class. Yeah, like I said, Regal, Christian, Demolition would be cool. Women, China will. Do you think she'll ever get in? I think she will.
She will, but it's probably going to be some time. They want, They think the average wrestler's memory is 2 years. Mm-hmm. So now, but with the network coming out, I think it'll be 5 years.
I can give it 5 years. I could see it even being before then. I'm actually kind of surprised. They're probably going to do the same thing with Savage, where like, oh, he's not going in. Oh, wait, he's dead. No, we should put him in. Oh, wait, we're not going to put him in this year because it seems like we're capitalizing off her dying to put her in. So give it like at least 4 years, 4 or 5 years, I would say, about the same. Emmanuel A. These are the questions mostly for Jason. He sent these in for him. So here you go, Jason. Yeah, his question was, he's got a few years, the first one. Do you remember the time Vince McMahon won the WWF/WWE Championship on SmackDown in 1999? The same year, he enacted an overly complicated scheme by getting Undertaker and his cult to kidnap his own daughter, so Steve Austin would not be champion. A storyline that ended with him being forced to leave the company forever at Fully Loaded 1999.
I do remember that because Eric Bischoff on Monday Nitro said, just to let you know, the man behind everything, the great power to be or whatever is Vinnie Mac. He said it on Nitro. That? Yeah, he did.
I know he spoiled a bunch of shit. I didn't know he spoiled
I'm pretty sure he did with that because I remember going, oh, it's him, and then he put the hood back and oh, it's me, Austin. And
Austin.
Yeah, I hated that. I hated the whole Undertaker transvestite look where he had
Ministry of Darkness.
I hated that. I liked the acolytes and all that stuff, and you know they Midian had something with him, even though I kind of liked him, but it, you know whatever.
Naked Midian.
Not that, but yes, I remember that. I liked the Vince Austin feud when it started, but after a goddamn year, that's all it was every Monday. So I couldn't, when it got to this point, it drove me nuts.
Preach. So
It drove me nuts.
I was trying to do this.
Like everybody says, oh, the Attitude Era was great because of Vince Austin thing. You have to remember, if you're seeing the same, it's like seeing Roman Reigns every Monday. It's the same shit now. Just imagine the same. They spend the most time. I'm trying to think of a perfect example. It's like the Authority.
The Authority. I was just about to say the Authority.
The Authority. It was that, and it drove me nuts. I remember it. I hated it. I was so tired because it just got bigger and bigger. It just. Oh.
I love the Jason. This is why we bond over wrestling so much. I remember that was one of the first things you told me, and I'm like, I'm gonna like this guy. I'm gonna like working with this guy. As soon as he told me that, yeah, I wasn't around.
Because there wasn't any other choice. I had to. You could watch Nitro, but it was random.
Shitty by that point,
random fucking like, okay, here's NWO. Okay, here's
NWO.
Lucha, you know, the cruiserweights. Okay, here's some stupid segment with Lex Luger. You know, like when you go to you go to WF, which I still prefer that over WWE name, but it just it was terrible. I remember it. Yep, it sucked.
Good times. His next question for you: how do you feel about Owen Hart post-Montreal Screwjob? He had a short-lived face turn where he feuded with DX. Despite winning the European title and being tag team champs with Jeff Jarrett, which didn't really mean much, he was borderline lower mid-card for the rest of his run until, Over the Edge 1999, aka his death. So how did you feel about Owen Hart?
I liked that he came back and they made him a face. I was really curious to see what would happen. Because that was really big when it happened at the time with the whole Montreal Screwjob. I watched that live on pay-per-view. Owen was supposed to get pushed. That's the whole reason he didn't go to WCW, is that Vince had promised that he was going to push him to the championship level, and he started trying to do a thing with Shawn, and then they pushed him off to Owen because really. Backstage, they were saying like he can't. Not that he couldn't hang, but they didn't see because Triple H didn't see him, or Shawn saw him as a top guy. They kind of screwed it over. I liked it when he came back. I liked the whole goatee, the short hair, the black heart. Thought it was awesome. But then they just fucking ruined it by
the blue blazer shit.
That fucking pissed me off. He was so close to retiring too. Like
what a waste.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was really sad when he passed. That was terrible.
When he died, yeah.
And Jeff Jarrett thing and blue blazer crap.
Stupid. Awful use of.
I liked him up until the blue blazer stuff, and that's when I realized they weren't gonna push him anymore. And
at a significant, meaningful level.
Yeah, I had no hope. I'm like, crap, this sucks. So, but I still liked him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Always liked Owen.
Owen was great, yeah. Dearly missed him and Eddie Guerrero as well. And final question from Emmanuel A. I said Twitter here, it's from YouTube. I don't know why I put Twitter. When did you first learn about Dirtsheets and wrestling online forums? I remember a while ago I saw someone repost a thread from 2000 that involved people complaining about The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin always being on top. Ironically, Triple H was always well-liked in 2000 and wasn't yet accused of selfishly hoarding the main event. In my case, I'll just say real quickly, I mean, obviously it's different now because Dirtsheets were obviously a thing by 2008. I started watching in April of that year, as you guys know, I say every single fucking video, but I didn't find out about Dirtsheets until like later on that year. Like the earliest memory of a Dirtsheet that I remember is like November, October of 2008, and before that, like when William Regal got suspended, who was and still is my favorite at that time, I would just go to Google like every day and go like, when is William Regal coming back to WWE? Like, I wouldn't go to a single dirt sheet. I would just type it into Google hoping to get an answer. So, yeah, that was my earliest memory of a dirt sheet. Jason, were you ever a dirt sheet guy back in the day? Did you ever hear about dirt sheets for wrestling?
AOL,
yeah.
Early 97. I pretty much did a search of, I think it started out with real names, real names of wrestlers, and then it would show other stuff where it pop up, and I was like, what is this? And it would say news about this stuff, and it was backstage Dirtsheet stuff, and I was just like, holy shit, and started learning a lot of stuff back then.
That's why you know so much.
Yeah.
Fast forward 20 years later. You're a genius.
Yeah. No.
Gotta love AOL. And by the way, I just wanted to say, it doesn't surprise me that Triple H was liked back then, just because he was fucking amazing back in 2000. Like, if you said he was well liked in 2002, that I wouldn't believe for a second, because he was always on the main event of Raw and shit. But no, by 2000, he was the best heel in the company. Like, he was one of the best the company had to offer. And by that point, Rock and Austin had been on top for, 3 years? So that doesn't surprise me at all. Elena the Y from YouTube got 2 questions here. Did you hear about WWE ECW episodes being uploaded to the WWE Network? Among other things, it means you can now see the June 19th, 2007 episode containing Chris Benoit's last TV appearance. Yeah, I heard about that. I watched a few episodes yesterday. All the reviews are up now on nextwrestling.net. I watched the latest episode that's up there from March of 2009. I watched a random July 2008 episode just because I was a fan back then and wanted to relive it. And I also watched the first ever episode with the fucking zombie and Kelly showing her tits to everyone and the awful Extreme Battle Royal. It was terrible. That show fucking sucked. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that episode's on there. What I was wondering was whether, I mean, it probably still is, though I'm not 100% certain. I figured that would be on there, obviously. What I want to know is if the following week, June 26th, McMahon started that show out by saying, like, we found out that Chris Benoit was a murderer, we won't speak about him again. I wonder if that's still on there. No, he didn't say he was a murderer, but he's, new details came to light or whatever. He started the show by saying that. I wonder if that's still on there, because if you go to the network, this is no surprise. Now that every Raw is up there, that Raw where they did the Benoit Memorial show, now it's just like a recap show of like Night of Champions or something, which aired internationally after the Benoit thing came to light, because the episode aired internationally. Later on in the weeks, they changed it from the Memorial show to that, to a recap show, and that's what's on the network. So obviously the Memorial show is not on the network, but I wonder if that's on there, though. I want to check that out after we're done here, but yeah, did you, any interest in watching old WWE ECW shows?
Nope. I watched the original ECW, which was great. The WWE ECW fucking sucked. Other than Punk debuting in that and whatnot, I hated everything about it. It was not. It wasn't ECW.
No, it was not from the get-go.
Vince did that on purpose.
Yeah, to fuck with ECW and to die to kill the chance.
Does the big dick contest and all that stuff. Whose dick's bigger? Blah blah blah.
Next question from Atlanta. Have you ever seen that Raw this is more for you. Have you ever seen that Raw after Survivor Series 1996 where Vince McMahon tries to defend Shawn Michaels' character? If you thought Vince loved Roman and was everyone and that wants everyone to love him too, you should see him talk about how Shawn is. How Shawn is. Obviously, let's face it, he dances, he has long hair. Shawn Michaels is somewhat of a ladies' man. Vince he finishes by looking in the camera and saying with the utmost sincerity that he may be a ladies' man, but he's far more concerned that Shawn is a man's man. So in so many words, do you remember Vince McMahon being super in love with Shawn Michaels on TV at any point in late 96? I had no idea.
I've heard rumors. Yes, I remember that. I thought it was strange, and I've heard things.
Next question. We'll go on from there without going too much into detail. Captain Sunshine from YouTube.
Captain Sunshine. It's always
Captain Sunshine. It's Captain Sunshine, baby. These are the regulars.
I know.
One of the messages Kurt Angle has been getting is about a fire in the WWE archives and how we can pre-order WWE 2K18 for the PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch.
What?
You get it?
Dear Lord, no.
Did you see the commercial last night? Yeah. No. That'd be amazing. That would be a great storyline. I'm really hoping it's Dixie Carter.
It's dumb. They haven't done it. It's Stephanie.
Yeah, it's Stephanie.
And they're trying to think, but people know it's Stephanie, so they don't give a shit, so they keep going like...
Did you see what happened at the end of Raw last night?
What?
You didn't see that? After Rollins and Wyatt ended, which I know you didn't watch, but they had Angle take a call backstage, and he's like, yeah, we're going to go public with it next week. Like, what happens, happens. Okay, I love you. And then he hung up the phone. So people are thinking, like, is he having an affair with Stephanie? Is it his wife? Is it Triple H and their gay lover? Is it Hornswoggle and he loves midgets? Like, that's what I'm wondering.
It's gonna be a big bust. Whatever it is, it's probably gonna be stupid.
They like to do these build. They do the build really, really well, and then the payoff is just terrible. So I'm not gonna get my hopes up. Here, next question here is actually really, really good. Are wrestling fans pessimistic and cynical by nature, or did wrestling itself make us that way? It's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? It's really what it comes down to.
An egg came first.
Did it?
A chicken just can't appear.
Tell that to the people debating it. I don't know.
Something else gave birth to the chicken. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You're never gonna 100% get what you want, and when you do, it's still not good enough because everybody has this idea of what they like and how it should be. When you got over 1 million people fucking doing that all the time,
yeah.
It's always gonna be. It's always. I mean,
I wouldn't say wrestling fans are naturally pessimistic and cynical, because everyone's...
Not naturally.
No, everyone's like that. Everyone's going to find something to complain about. That's just the way that society works and the world works. And not even today, that's always been the case. Yeah, that works too. Just people in places like that, people just complain all the time. That's just in people's nature. It's not a wrestling fan thing. I will say wrestling fans, and I said this before, wrestling fans, comic book fans, music fans, and I said this on Injection, I think, a couple days ago, are the most passionate people you will ever meet. And if you're more passionate and invested, you're upset when it doesn't go your way. So it doesn't make you cynical. But I can say, I mean, again, this is only my opinion, I do find that people that were around for the Attitude Era and knows how much better the product can be, they're upset that it's not as good today, because they are capable. If they want to make the, Jason knows, he was around. They are capable of creating TV. It's not that they're not capable anymore, because they have great moments and matches. They strike, Magic can strike with guys like Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar, and then you wonder the next week why the follow-up is terrible. You know what I mean? So it's not that they're not capable, but people know that since watching the Attitude Era that, the product was once so hot, then why isn't it like that anymore? So it's not really their fault, and I understand why it's that way. I'm just different because I started watching a year later. I'm not saying I'm any better, obviously, but I'm just, not a year later, but years later, a decade later. It's different for me because I wasn't around back then. I don't know what it's like.
When you were around, you just weren't watching wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. To go back to Amanda's question from earlier, like if I was a fan a couple of years earlier, if I started watching a couple of years earlier, would I still be a fan today? Honestly, probably not.
More appreciative fan, though.
What?
You probably would be if you watched the Attitude Era and then watched what you saw now. You'd probably be more appreciative.
Do you think so? I would definitely be shitting on the product now than I would be.
Not more than the Attitude Era.
What do you mean?
I'm saying if you watched the Attitude Era and then watch wrestling now, you would still shit on it. You would still shit on it, but you'd say, well, at least it's not the Attitude Era.
Oh, okay. Because I'd still be the same person regardless. Yeah, so I still probably would not like. I think you would have
a different mentality slightly as far as comparison.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people my age that just kind of fell out of it. Would I have fallen out of it? Yeah, I guess it's more of a question. I'm not really sure. I probably would have, but I'm glad I started watching when I did, even though I wish I was around for certain parts, like the Ruthless Aggression era and stuff like that, just because to kind of get a better perspective. But regardless, yeah, I mean, just for stuff like that, I do wish it would have been cool to have been around back then, but I definitely would be more cynical than I am now. Jared B., also from YouTube, do you think the WWE product has improved or not since the WWE draft last year?
SmackDown, yeah.
SmackDown's a lot better. It's hard to say. I'm not going to say the product is any more hot than it was a year ago. I think it's probably in line with what it was.
It's improved in sections.
It's what?
It's improved in moments.
Yeah, no, I think there's better moments. I think they have a better roster than they did a year ago, which is saying something. I think they've, the people they brought in, we have the Hardy Boys back, Kurt Angle's GM, we have a lot of people from NXT in the main roster, Shinsuke Nakamura, and so on and so forth. NXT is loaded right now. Raw, I'm not going to say is any more exciting than it was a year ago. I honestly don't think it is. Ratings are always going to go down. I know that's obviously different, but that doesn't mean the product sucks more than it did a year ago. Oh, what, the question? Yeah, we'll get to that in a second for the next one. Twitter questions. But,
I'm not answering that.
Yeah, you're definitely going to answer that. Why not?
Because then it'll be out there. Fuck it. Okay, so go ahead. Sorry.
Someone's going to steal it. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Or just come up with something.
Who cares, right? Like, I'm going to do anything.
That's for the next question, guys. But just in regards to this question, I don't think it's been worse. I think, honestly, what it comes down to, the brand split is for the best. And I've said it before, I think having 2 separate rosters is for the best. Because if we didn't have 2 separate rosters and people are going to, quickly forget about this. I know Jinder Mahal would obviously not be champion, which would probably be a good thing. But AJ Styles probably would not have been champion when he was, or at least for as long as he was. The belt would have been on Roman Reigns. If we had only one fucking show with the same people, Brock Lesnar would be champion right now, and he wouldn't be around. People like Mahal, who I don't give 2 shits about, Nakamura, AJ Styles, Baron Corbin would not be Mr. Money in the Bank right now. We would have the same fucking matches. Before the draft, we had Owens and Ambrose every single fucking week. We had Roman Reigns and Sheamus every single fucking week. SmackDown was pointless. No one watched SmackDown. SmackDown is way better now than it used to be. There's more of an opportunity for people to become stars. And I know sometimes they'll put people on Raw when they're on SmackDown and they'll shake up the rosters and there's little things they can improve upon. But the draft, in my opinion, is for the best. People have more chances to become stars, become special. The shows are better. Raw isn't any more hot than it was a year ago, but SmackDown has benefited and the titles mean more. Because if we had one show, one brand split, again, SmackDown would mean nothing. Brock Lesnar would have the belt. There's no world championship to go for. What was Baron Corbin going to cash in on a ghost or something? Like, there's no one there to cash in on. It'd be stupid. So, yeah, again, I'm not going to say it's improved, but I do think the roster is better off for the brand extension. Next question. Going into the Twitter questions here, starting with @OliviaW83. Her question was, if you were a wrestler, what was your persona?
Beautiful. Huh? She sounds beautiful.
She sounds, yeah, indeed she does. Yeah. What would her persona, signature move, and or catchphrase be? Jason, do you want to start?
No, you go first.
Okay, that was a little aggressive. Olivia, I think this is your first time on the show. I don't think we've seen your name here on the hashtag before, but welcome to hashtag AskJSM. I think Jason welcomes you too. Is that correct? Welcoming Olivia to the show. For me, I think I would just go with Graham GSM Matthews. I always thought it would be cool to have a wrestler named Jack Frost. I thought that would be fucking awesome. And the name his finisher Frostbite. I thought that would have been sick.
It's a very WCW.
Very WCW. That sounds like Glacier all over again. For me, I would probably just go with Graham GSM Matthews or just GSM. What would my persona be? I guess Graham GSM Matthews. I don't know what it would be. Not like delete. I don't know. I don't really have a gimmick. I would just be me.
You would be kind of a journalist. You'd kind of be the reporter kind of guy.
And what I report is what I do in the ring. Like whatever I report is what happens in my matches.
10 times better, Mr. Kennedy.
Kennedy! Yeah, exactly. I would love to be Mr. Kennedy. I love Kennedy. He's awesome.
And you'd just do a lot of mic work.
That'd be great. It would also be cool if my logo was a microphone. That'd be a cool
signature move.
My signature move? I like the RKO that feels way too reminiscent of Randy Orton.
Something original.
I know.
Signature move. I think she means finisher.
Yeah, like finisher?
Because their signature is a pre-setup and then a finisher is a finisher. Sorry.
Yeah, no. I'm just thinking what it would be. I'm trying to think what I would do the most of when I would do, like, matches and shit. I don't know. Anything with a neck breaker I always thought was pretty cool. The Gut Buster I thought was nice. I'm going to say the Gut Buster. I always thought that was a cool move. Or Cedric Alexander's move. I like that one too.
Gutbuster off your shoulders called the mic drop.
The mic drop. I like that. Ooh, I like that. But
catchphrase.
This is what I'm gonna call my signature move. The writer's block. Oh shit! That's what it's gonna be called. And my catchphrase, I'm gonna end every promo by saying. I'm gonna end every single one of my promos by saying, and I'll catch your ass down the road. How original, I know. Stone Cold Steve Austin. So, Jason, what would your moniker be? Come on, punch.
No. It would be a Jaws, but with a Z. And the persona would be... it would kind of be like if... it's kind of bad to say Benoit or something, but it would kind of be... I would actually be neutral. I'd help good people, good heels and faces.
Anti-hero.
Yeah,
you seem like
I would be both. I'd be both.
Okay.
I would be confusing for a while and kind of
tweener,
like...
baby, tweener, I like it.
Kind of like Braun or something. But, and then the finisher would be a... Kevin Owens used to do it. He hasn't done it in a while.
What?
It's a
Package pile driver?
no spinning neck breaker off your back. And it would, it would be called the sequel. And then my catchphrase would be everyone hates a sequel. That'd be on the back.
Steal it, people. Steal that idea and hope WWE uses it.
I've been doing that every wrestling game since I was 12. I've been creating that same character, same look. Has a look kind of like Deadshot. I mean, Deadshot mixed with Deathstroke from and there's too many details, but yeah.
Still, I like the idea.
Cool question.
I hope WWE uses it. That was a nice question. Your favorite so far?
Favorite what?
Favorite question so far of the episode.
I like it. Yeah.
Hopefully we see more of her in the future.
Yeah.
Next question at Rusty Rages. Should GFW/Impact cut their losses and just get rid of Alberto Del Patron? He seems like a magnet. I got a fucking spam question. I got a spam comment. Sorry from YouTube. I got pop-up. Should they just cut their losses and get rid of Alberto Del Patron? He seems like a magnet for negative press. Yes, he's a fucking piece of shit.
Next
I fucking hate
Calm
the guy.
down.
I fucking hate you, Patron. You hurt my baby Paige. I'm not gonna do anything. You should kick my ass. But he was the biggest dickhead I ever met in my life. I was like, never told you. I've definitely talked about this before. RJ knows. I would when I met him a few years ago at an indie show, the same day I met McFoley, I went up to him like, "Oh, Patron, I loved you in Lucha Underground. Your work is great. Your WWE work is awesome. You're great. I love you. You're awesome. You're my favorite. Lucha Underground was quality. You're my favorite guy. I love you. You're great. 40 pesos. What do you mean 40 pesos? I don't have 40 pesos. Here's your money. You're not worth 40 pesos, but I love you. You're great."
You really said that?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I'm just being a Mexican stereotype. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not racist, people. I'm sorry. I'm just like, I love you. You're great. You're great. You're great. Awesome. I love your lucha work. I loved your lucha work. And then he's just like, took the picture. Didn't even say thank you. I'm like, great to meet you, Patron. I love you. Yeah, I hope you do well. You're my favorite. I have all your t-shirts, all two of them. You're great. I love you. Have a great day. Next.
Oh, I gone up and just pissed on the table and walked away.
You stupid little perro. Little perro. It's my destiny.
So the answer is yes.
Yeah, fuck you. Cut his loss. He's worth nothing. Impact gains nothing from having Del Rio unless they want press. Oh no, press is good press. No, fuck you. Okay. Having a woman beater as a world champion is a piece of shit. Fuck you.
All right.
Because I know he watches this show.
Yeah.
Next question. What do you make of the phone call Kurt Angle had to end the show? I hope it's Dixie Carter, baby. Dixie Carter's coming on to Monday Night Raw, and they're gonna have an affair, and it's gonna be great. They're gonna have Kurt Carter. Woo! Can't wait for that. Just kidding. I thought it was intriguing. I'm looking forward to next week. We already really talked about this payoff. It's probably going to be poop, but I'm trying to be optimistic and use my PMA and say the payoff is going to be amazing. Jason, any thoughts on the phone call / the angle that you didn't already say before?
Shit. It's probably something with Stephanie, and I really don't care.
Stephanie's back, because that's exactly what I want on Raw, said no one ever. Next question. From Matt Scarlet 1 on the Twitter machine. Stone Cold Steve Austin has claimed a big reason that he turned heel in 2001 is because he felt his character was getting a bit stale. Do you think Stone Cold Steve Austin was getting stale by 2001? That was before he turned to WrestleMania 17.
Yeah.
You think so?
No, I mean, it wasn't
he was doing the same shit.
It's the same thing he did for 4 years up to that point. It's just...
Yeah, you see the same thing for a while. I mean, he was still over, but yeah, he was kind of stale. Yeah, he was stale. I don't think he should have turned heel at WrestleMania 17.
If he did turn heel, he shouldn't have done it with Vince.
That was fucking stupid.
It's like the NWO coming down to back up Sting at WrestleMania. It made no sense.
That was amazing. Just kidding. It made absolutely no sense. Greatest match of all time, by the way. Did you guys see Raw Talk? You didn't see Raw Talk in the network, right? After the pay-per-view on Sunday?
No, I don't watch that.
I watched it. Talking Smack is a lot better because Daniel Bryan's hilarious and he gives zero shits. But I did see Raw Talk. They had Big Cass on, Sasha Banks, and the Miz.
Oh, Miz was on there, yes.
I don't
watch anything with the jizz on it.
Still the Intercontinental Champion. Miz was all right. Sasha Banks and Big Cass got pretty good promos. Big Cass got the same promo the next night on Raw. But it was still a good fired-up promo, and Banks cut one of her best promos in recent memory. So yeah, I would suggest checking it out when you get the chance. Next question, Matt E13A from the Twitter machine. Have you seen WWE's Living on a Razor's Edge, the Scott Hall story documentary? You have seen the new one? Mm-hmm. You have the one on the network?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Was it good?
Yeah, I mean, I already knew. They already did an ESPN.
Yeah, the 30 for 30.
Yeah, I already saw that. So I mean, it just goes into more detail. But yeah, anything with Scott Hall, I'll watch. I love Scott Hall. I mean, not other than the stuff he won, but it was good. It was great.
Hey yo, Chico.
Didn't he send out a Twitter picture of himself, and in the background he left porn in the background?
Yeah, I told you that. Yeah. He's like Merry Christmas. He took a picture of his fucking Christmas tree, and on the back on his computer you can see porn. He's amazing. He also loves Paige too, and he's like,
oh
No, this was before the videos came out. He's
shoot?
like, hey baby, if you ever want to. Oh yeah, you sent me that video. He's always been very nice to Paige, but he's like, yeah, I would do anal with Paige. And she probably.
That's not what he said.
What'd he say?
He
said he would eat her out, right?
A rim job, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure she'd accept it after the videos that came out a couple months ago. Probably better than El Patron, Chico. Next question. How would you compare a Raw in 97 to a Raw in 2017? Again, Jason, I refer to you to that.
How would you compare it?
How would you compare the two? Is it better or worse, or what's the deal? I've never seen a Raw in 97, so I can't say. So, Jason, this question's for you.
Set's a lot better now, obviously. Music's a lot better, depending on certain people.
It's all subjective.
There's more, there's more. It's
people are saying, oh my god, it was way better than 97. No, fucking wasn't. I did not need to see Nick and Midian's fucking nuts hanging out in every single fucking match. I don't need to see that shit. I don't care.
There's pros and cons.
Yeah, there are, of course, pros and cons.
You can't really
I don't need to see This Is Your Life.
It's more famous. I mean,
Bailey
it's more
Lords of
big
Bliss.
than it was back then.
Yeah, of course.
But, and, I didn't have Roman Reigns back then, which was awesome.
Yeah, no Roman Reigns.
But then you're stuck with all the same Vince McMahon Stone Cold bullshit. And
that was probably the best thing on the show. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the undercard crap they had on that show. Fucking The Nation of Domination and the Los Boricuas and all that other garbage.
DOA.
Thrash was, DOA, Disciples of Apocalypse. Shit was
Underfaker.
fucking terrible. Underfaker, give me a break. Oh, 97 was a great year for... No, it really...
No, the
it
DX
wasn't.
thing was huge, man. Everybody in school was... I saw people wearing fucking Xbox
I'm not saying DX
shirts
was bad.
and-
DX was great. I'm saying the other stables were terrible.
Yeah, but the Brood was cool.
Okay, I'm not going to say Raw was shit at that point.
Yeah.
Raw, people...
Depending on what's part of Raw you were watching.
Yeah,
Just
take
like
off your
today.
rose-colored glasses, people. It was not amazing back then. It's the same thing as today. It's all about a matter of preference. You're gonna like certain things, but the Hart, shoot promo on Raw that year was great. Yeah, it was, but the rest of the shit on Raw that episode may not have been great. I don't know. And a lot of the Raws back then were not amazing. But again, I've never seen a Raw.
It's the same as it is now. You like certain parts and you don't. So it's the same now. I mean, now it's just on it's a more global stage. So.
I hate when people post shit on Twitter, be like, "Oh my God, a Raw today would never end like a Raw in the Attitude Era when Stone Cold Steve Austin helped Mankind win the title." Like, dude, that was one episode from like early 1999. What about all the other endings? It was Vince McMahon making out with people and people showing their tits at the end of every episode.
It was edgier.
It was edgy.
Now
but
it's
it wasn't
PG,
that
so I mean, it's PG now sometimes.
You don't deserve shit. PG, man. If you could pick between a 5-hour compilation of Sid matches and promos or Ahmed Johnson I said it right this time, or Ahmed Johnson matches and promos, which would you pick?
Sid. More entertaining.
Sid fucking up
And
was
I
a lot
liked
more
him as a
entertaining than
wrestler a
Johnson.
lot better than Ahmed Johnson.
Yeah, I know, he had a lot better matches, even though Sid was nothing amazing, obviously. But Sid's promos were so bad, they were great.
Psycho
Ahmed Johnson,
Sid,
you didn't even understand what Ahmed Johnson was saying.
Yeah, I know. I was, in your house. I was like, "You go down, you go." I'm like, "What's he saying?" I take Sid. I liked him better because I saw him when he was Psycho Sid, and then when I went back before then watching older stuff when he was Sid Justice or Sid Vicious and blah blah blah. I always liked Sid. He was kind of like Nash, who just came in, did his thing, and he was done. You were never gonna get a
Great
match out
You
of
didn't
him.
need to.
But I preferred it over Ahmed, who could have had great matches, but he was just kind of the same way, but just a shorter guy.
Yeah, no. Ahmed Johnson was a flash in the pan. Next question. Raw is like SmackDown Live. Another handout to another American. Lose and you get a world opportunity. Never give up being an American. That's what Rusev tweeted out last night after Roman Reigns. And, after Roman Reigns after he lost, and it's going to get another shot at the title next week. Is Rusev right? Is he right in claiming that? It's kind of what we were talking about over lunch a few hours ago. Raw is like SmackDown where you get another handout despite the fucking losing. If you lose, you get another title shot. It's no different than Randy Orton. He lost twice, and he's already getting another shot at the title. Again, for no reason. So I do agree. I think Rusev's right. SmackDown does it better, but they're still no different. I loved what Daniel Bryan said to Kevin Owens a week or two ago on Talking Smack, where he's like,
what was it? Land of re-opportunity?
Yeah, where Owens is like, Raw's no different. The land of opportunity is just a catchphrase that Shane McMahon came up with. It's stupid. It means nothing. Chad Gable got beat. They already had their title shot. AJ Styles got beat. Why do they deserve another shot at my title? Daniel Bryan, after 5 seconds, goes by of awkward silence. Because it's the land of repeat opportunities. Huzzah!
Yeah.
That was great.
He
knows.
leave.
Yeah, he so wants to fucking leave, and he knows it's a joke, so he just makes fun of it. At Sean Markistic, where do you guys see Austin Aries going following his departure from WWE? Why'd you laugh? What?
Oh, I thought it was gonna be where do you see him going? On I didn't. Yeah, no.
Oh, okay. I could see him going back to Impact. I hope he doesn't. It's a dead brand, like I said. I really hope not. He was used well early on, but after that, he was nothing. They didn't use him well at all. Really, they didn't even use him at all, period, for the most part. I could see him... for some reason, I heard he had heat with Ring of Honor, but Jim Cornette's not there anymore. He got fired from Ring of Honor like 4 or 5 years ago, maybe even longer than that. But I heard he was told not to come back, which is why when he left TNA the first time a few years ago, he didn't go back to Ring of Honor. He showed up for one match, but that was it. I've seen people say Japan. I don't even think he wants to. The guy's like 40. Oh, he's almost going to be 40, if not 39 right now. I doubt that's in the cards. I could just see him doing indies. He's going to be just fine. Yeah, I could see him doing that kind of stuff. I want to see him brought back and not be in the cruiserweights, but I heard he did everything in his power to get released, so I don't think that's in the cards, unfortunately. You agree, or anything else?
I agree.
Thoughts on the whole situation between Del Rio and Paige?
Oh, God damn it, people.
Again, fuck you, El Patron. You're a piece of shit. You're a woman beater. Wrestling has no place for you. Fuck you.
Sit down.
You touch my little English crumpet again, I'm going to kick your ass. Just kidding. You're going to kick my ass, but...
No, I'll kick his ass.
Jason will kick your ass. You're the panel. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Next question.
And then, by the way, I just want to say this before we move on. The coke use that they're alleged of doing does not surprise me at all. You look at every picture of the two.
There's an audio. You
look at Paige and Del Rio. Yeah.
There's audio of them talking about them using or having cocaine.
Yeah, that's what the witness said. The witness wouldn't lie. They have the fucking audio. It's
okay.
No, I'm not denying. I'm just saying I just get heated about this shit because I saw that. I'm like, dude, fuck you. I hope Brock Lesnar comes through home.
Bayley was your girl.
Ass. What?
I thought Bayley was your girl.
She is. I love Bayley. Not cheating on Bayley, but Paige is my second. Maybe not my second favorite. She's gonna move down after the. Maybe she moves up after the videos from a few months ago. But still, I love Paige. She was great when I met her a year ago. She was kind of like. Remember the picture? She looked miserable. She was nice to me, but in the picture, she looked fucking miserable. And even at that point, she was dating a Del Rio, and she was probably getting beat up even then. Like, dude, you beat up women? Go fuck yourself. You're a piece of shit. I don't care if you're in wrestling or not.
What's the age difference?
He's like 39. She's 24. It's like 15 years. But even that aside, like, that bothered me for a little while when they first started dating. It's not even that. It's just that he's a fucking asshole. And the company, for the first time in a long time, look like baby faces. They tried to split them up when they first started dating because they saw that Del Rio was a bad influence on Paige, but they didn't listen.
Let's just do this to the camera. To Alberto.
Fuck you piece of shit. Fuck you, Alberto. The guy's such a dickhead.
Okay.
I hope wrestling bans you from the industry and you never come back.
Fans, I know you're not mine. You're his, but just. Look what's happening to the man. Let's just try to not send any questions about Alberto Asswipo in the future.
Fuck you, Alberto Del Rio. At Sean Markistic, we already answered your questions. At Himir 00 or 0014, if Roman Reigns doesn't turn full-fledged heel now, when will he?
Can't tell what he is.
Fucking God, people. Oh my fucking God. Here's another little rant for you.
Okay, we'll keep it short.
The
man fucking slammed the damn ambulance backwards into the other tractor trailer thing, and there was no repercussions. Oh, and by the way, instead of spending 30 minutes on them trying to pry open the side door, they could have just hopped in the ambulance and drove it forward, so then Braun could get out the back. I'm just saying, but they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Because one moment they're like, okay, look, it looks like he's turning heel, and then he comes out and he's just like, you guys are from the Attitude Era. You guys did edgy shit and blew stuff up all the time. And then there's nothing. It just ended with that. So I don't know what he is. I don't know if Braun's a goddamn face or heel. I don't. It's confusing as shit. I don't know. I don't know. I know the only match that he'll face somebody where the only match Cena will ever have where people are cheering for Cena will be him and Reigns, which maybe he can turn heel officially turn heel on Cena. Okay, so next question.
No. I gotta bring this up. I completely agree 100% with everything Jason just said, but I'm going to say this real quick. For anyone saying that Roman Reigns is going to go heel, this is the perfect opportunity. You know what? I tweeted the same thing on Sunday. A million other people tweeted the same thing on Sunday, that Roman Reigns is a fucking prick for attempting to kill someone on Sunday. And I completely agree. But you know what? When he came out on Monday and it was business as usual, he did the same shit. The commentators were like, oh, he was just doing the same thing that Braun did to him. What kind of logic is that? That makes him a fucking heel. You put someone in an ambulance and try to kill him. That's a fucking heel thing to do. Braun Strowman, when he did that,
tried to kill him,
was a heel. When Braun did it, he was a heel. Roman Reigns doing it, babyface should be like, oh, not an eye for an eye. No, he should be above that and try to, I don't know, find another way to not be. He fucking lost. He's a loser.
Funny ass finish though.
That was a great finish. One of the best finishes I've seen in a long-ass time. I laughed my ass off for a long-ass time. God. But let me just end with this real quick for this question. Again, I said, as well as anyone on Sunday, that was the opportunity to do a double turn. Was I upset the next night they didn't do the double turn and that Roman wasn't a heel? No, I wasn't. And here's why. Because at WrestleMania, he retired the fucking Undertaker.
Maybe.
Allegedly, but still. He beat The Undertaker. He beat the most beloved guy in WWE history. The next night, that heat that he received was out of this world. But he's still baby.
And then he even came out the week after that and said, this is my yard.
This is my yard.
That was
heel.
Him still being a face?
People, listen to me. If they didn't turn him heel after beating The Undertaker's ass and retiring the most beloved person in the company, they're not going to turn him heel. They're never going to turn him heel. Again, I'm still going to complain they should have turned him heel here. They should have turned him heel here. They should have turned him heel 3 fucking years ago. But if they haven't done it already, they're not going to. You people need to watch the 24 or the Takeover 3 with Michael P.S. Hayes, where he said with Cornette and Eric Bischoff. They said, oh, he's John Cena. John Cena got booed and they kept him face. John Cena got away with it. Roman Reigns is not John Cena.
Yeah, Cena can talk.
Cena, it's a way different story. Cena... they probably should have turned him at a certain point. They didn't, but he got away with it. Roman Reigns is not that fucking guy. Nobody likes Roman Reigns. It's not like all the kids are like, hey, and all the women are like, hey. He's got a good portion of women and kids as his fan base, but not nearly at the level that Cena was 3 years into his main event run. That's not an excuse, people. Again, I'm going to say this again. They're not going to turn him heel. They weren't going to turn him heel at WrestleMania. They're not going to turn him heel after last Sunday. They didn't turn him heel 3 years ago after he won the Royal Rumble. They're not going to turn him heel. Can we all stop speculating when they're going to turn him heel? I complain. I'm a victim of what I'm talking about right now because I do it all the time. They're not going to fucking turn him heel. Next question. At the Wrestle Guy, Sal. He was on Wrestle Rant Radio with me last week. Had an awesome time talking to him, so check out the episode when you can. Next Wrestling.net, cheap plug. Do you think WWE needs to have more big matches and with one finisher? The F5 looked majorly strong, and Joe still looked good in defeat. Yes, but it's going to take some time to get used to it. I wasn't happy that he lost one F5, and I do agree it makes Joe is fine. Joe is not fucking buried. If you think Joe is buried, go fuck yourself. You are the worst ever wrestling fan. You lose one match, oh, he's buried. Joe is done. I just give up in wrestling. People, it's like, he's not fucking done. He's not done. He looked like he kicked
They just pushed him up to the level.
He pushed him up to Brock's level. Yeah. He kicked his ass. For 90% of the match, he lost with one move. Was that what I would have done? No. But he's not buried. I know that's not your question. But what I'm saying is this. That yes, beating people with one move is the way that it should be. We are so used to seeing people kick out of finishers all the time. This company does it all the time. Ring of Honor does it a lot. TNA does it a lot. John Cena would hit the AA on fucking, Stardust, or what? Styles. He's a different example, but even then, he would hit him with like 3 AAs and he would still kick out. But
Stardust.
He hit an AA on Stardust a few years ago and he kicked out. It's like, what does that say about the AA? It means nothing. Stardust. So Brock Lesnar's F5, I'm glad it's protected. But like even Undertaker kicked out of 3 of them at one point. Like Roman Reigns fucking kicked out of 3 of those at WrestleMania. At WrestleMania 31, I think it was. But Joe couldn't kick out of 1. So again, I like what you're saying. It's just going to take a long time. I'm not saying you can't go back to the way that it was. It's just going to take a long time to condition people to think that one move could put a match away.
Who started?
I don't know. Some loser. I never found out who he was or where he went. I'm not really sure.
I agree.
When do you feel like the Hardys will split? They're both pretty destined for one last singles run, just a matter of when.
What month are we in?
July, yeah. They've been back for 3 months.
Before WrestleMania.
I think before WrestleMania. I don't think they're going to be a tag team through Mania. I could see them doing the Broken Hardys stuff together. It's only a matter of when and not if they're going to become broken, or if they become the Shattered Hardys because TNA still owns the legal name to it. I don't care. Or the intellectual property.
Middle name is Nero.
Yeah. No. They just the brother Nero thing is TNA's. But what Matt Hardy said on the network, they can call him brother, Nero. Like you could do that. Like there's ways of getting around it. What I'm trying to say is this: I think there's more mileage in the Hardys being a tag team. I'm glad it seems like they're becoming broken or whatever. You know, doing this feud of the Revival. I thought they might split them up coming off of Sunday's loss.
They're doing what the Dudley Boys did. They're getting over other tag teams first, and then they're gonna split.
But the Dudleys never split up.
No, they quit.
Well, yeah, because they were used like jobbers. I mean, I think they were glad.
That's what's going to happen with the Hardys.
But that's different with the Hardys because they are putting over other tag teams, which is great, but they're also remaining over themselves, and they're not fucking wrestling on main event every week like the Dudley Boys were. Like, they fucked that. The company, I know the Dudley Boys were happy to put other people over, and that's great. Like, I enjoyed their run.
10-time champions.
But they should have won the titles. Like, it writes itself. Why didn't they win the belt at least once? Another New Day held the belt the entire time they were there.
They fucked that up with them, so they're like, let's do it with the Hardys.
Yeah. The Hardy Boys are more over anyway, but I think they learned from their mistake with the Dudley Boys and realized that's probably why they left was because they were fucking jobbers and there was no reason for them to come back and re-sign. But yeah, they'll be splitting up at some point. Jeff Hardy can be something big on his own as well as broken Matt Hardy. If it's regular old babyface Matt Hardy on his own, no one's gonna care. But if it's oh yeah, delete. But if it's broken Matt, I'm fully in favor of that. Probably, as Jason said, I would say by early 2018. As long as we don't see the millionth feud between Jeff and Matt, and they just go their separate ways, I'm very content with that happening. Final 2 questions. One more from the Wrestle Guy from Sal. Who's more valuable now and for the future of WWE, Samoa Joe or Braun Strowman? Great question. Who do you think? Yeah, no, I agree. No, exactly. They're both great. Joe and Strowman are killing it right now. I love Samoa Joe.
Joe doesn't have that many years left.
No, he won't be here for another 3 more years. I'd be surprised if he was. I wish he was. Okay, 3 years maybe. I'm going to say 5 years from now, Joe won't be here.
5 max.
Yeah, 5 max. This guy's already 39, 40, and he can still go, and he's still amazing. He's one of the best parts of WWE right now. But he won't be here forever. Strowman can be here for a long time and can be the next Big Show or Kane, not in turning a million times, but in being the resident big man. Because we haven't had that in a long time. Yeah, that's what I mean.
I think you meant like be a giant waste of space job like Big Show.
No, Braun Strowman, I like Big Show, but he's been around for way too long. They've put him in awful storylines.
I didn't like him in WCW.
Huh?
I didn't like him
You
when
didn't
he was
like him then?
giant.
Well,
He was
Braun's
just big.
different.
He didn't do shit. Like, oh, you choke slam someone, but when you see that after 2 years, you're like, holy shit.
Who cares? Braun Strowman's different. The guy's been great so far. They've handled him well. If they can keep on the same track, then he'll be just fine. That was my watch going off. I apologize. But, yeah, no, I'm going to say Braun Strowman. I like Samoa Joe a lot, but Strowman's going to be here for a while longer. And here's hoping they won't fuck him up by turning him face and putting him on a diaper to promote the New Year's episode of Raw at some point, like Big Show. Which Big Show said he hated, by the way, on Jericho's podcast, which does not surprise me at all, which you should all check out because Big Show is great behind the scenes. Final question, very fitting here from @RJ_Marcel, my brother Mr. Marcel. Question was, and also a very good question, very similar to the last one.
Cool guy. Cool meeting him in Orlando.
Oh, yeah, you did meet RJ in Orlando. Yeah, shout out to RJ. Shout out to Mr. Marcel and Molly, his girlfriend. When their careers are over, and he's going to WrestleMania next year or two, right?
He is?
I think he is. I think he said he's planning on
He's going to New Orleans?
We definitely want to go to the Rumble. We talked about that.
Where's the Rumble going to be?
Philly.
Oh my God, ECW.
ECW, I want to see fucking Balls Mahoney. Didn't Balls Mahoney die?
Dude.
Next question. When their careers are over, who will have the better career, Alexa Bliss or Carmella?
Bliss.
Very, very easily Bliss. I like Carmella. I know you don't. I'm glad she's missed Money in the Bank. I think that's a great choice.
She needs to eat lots of sandwiches. And the just creepy thinking that she's with Big Cass in real life is just like...
They should put them together.
She looks like a goddamn broomstick.
Alexa Bliss is small too, but she's...
Yeah, but she's...
That tush, whew, jeez.
No, but she is... She's a... I don't know how to put it.
She's smaller, yeah.
She's smaller, but she's filled out to where she can, actually wrestle.
Yeah.
Carmella, I don't know.
She's twig.
I've seen her kick somebody once, and that's about it.
Yeah, she's not a good wrestler. Neither is Alexa. Alexa's gotten a lot better. Her match with Banks on Sunday I liked a lot. So absolutely Alexa. She knows how to be a heel. Carmella's getting better, but I think she's more of a long-term project. She sticks out more.
Carmella just seems like another Nikki Bella wannabe.
Yeah. I think she can actually be more than Nikki.
What's her name in...
Brie?
No, the one in NXT that is like trying to be like Carmella.
Liv Morgan
I always say it. Oh my god.
Carmella is fucking Mae Young compared to... Or Mae Young might not be a great example. She's fucking... Who's a great women's wrestler? Charlotte? I don't know. There's not many great women's wrestlers.
Victoria.
She's Trish Stratus. Victoria compared to fucking Liv Morgan. She sucks.
Molly Holly.
Yo, dump bump. Fuck you, that's terrible. Yeah, but Alexa Bliss, I think she's great, obviously. Getting a lot better in the ring. Mike's skills are second to none. Carmella's getting better. But there's no question Alexa Bliss will go down as the better women's wrestler when all is said and done in WWE. And Molly Holly was great, by the way, just to go off what you said earlier.
Oh, yeah.
And that does it, guys, today for hashtag AskJason for the first time since December. A nice little present for you guys. I did not advertise this last week, so unless you're on social media with yours truly on Facebook, Twitter, then you would not have known that Jason was coming on today. So you guys never know who you're going to get here on the show. Here's hoping to get John on the show at some point. RJ retired well over a year ago. Got to get his ass on the show at some point. But Jason is alive and well. He'll be here on the show at some point.
Far.
You know, he's got the place back to himself, so there's more time to record the show and whatnot. So hopefully at some point we will have him back on again in the very near future. But before we go off the air, again, my quick cheap plugs here real quick before we get to Jason's. Once again, if you want to send in a question, please do so. I'm such a barrier. I bury it. I'm fucking the Triple H of this show with my championship title, my shovel, burying people's plugs. If you want to send in a question, you can tweet me on the Twitter machine at WrestleRant with hashtag AskGSM. Find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Graham.gsm.Matthews. Are you mocking me?
No. I memorized your thing from you saying it so many times. Good.
Drop a comment in the post. I usually, keyword usually, not always, because I didn't do it this week, because we're recording on Tuesday, that I put up on Tuesday nights. And last but not least, drop a comment down below in the comment section. I'll include your question in next week's video. So, of course, before we go off the air and right off into the sunset, Jason, your plugs.
I don't have any.
We're on the tube right now, brother.
You can find me at Blue Eye Disorder on YouTube, and that's about it. Other social media, I just can't stand. So
click on this amazing mug right here to
it's not
subscribe
gonna work.
to
You
the
don't even know
channel.
how to do it
I don't
on
know
your
how to do it.
computer.
I'm not going to. I'm just kidding. I just want to see how many people click on it and see if it works. It's not going to work.
I'm clicking on the ugly guy's face. It's not working.
Yeah, said no one
Meaning
ever.
me.
Said no one ever.
That's the kind of cheerful stuff you'll get on my channel.
Hey, the most must-see and most anticipated return in YouTube history. Blue Eye Disorder is back, baby, this week on the YouTube. That's why I brought him on to promote the return of his channel. Check out his videos. They're great. Story time is awesome. Night Terrors, almost a Tuesday Night Terrors. He changed the day because he does them all in one day and binge watch them like I do. It's awesome. Night Terrors, Story Time, everything he does on the channel. The music is the best part. His vocals are like a fucking angel. Check him out. They're like an angel.
Angel of death.
They're beautiful. It's amazing. So check him out. I ain't no grave, you can hold my body. And I thought I was listening to Johnny Cash when I heard that song. It was damn good. So check it out, guys. Amazing channel. Subscribe to my channel. Like the video. Drop a comment with your question or not. I appreciate the support. I get people saying all the time, I like this episode. I like that one. I like this guest. I love that guest. People were waiting for Jason, obviously. So again, like I said before, I don't know if Jason heard it, but this is episode 189. Episode 200, I think, debuts on September 27th. So a little over 2 months. And what I want to do, whether it's over the phone or in person, in your case probably in person, I'm going to try to get the biggest episode ever, I think the longest episode I've ever done was over 2 hours, or about 2 hours, or 2.5. I don't remember. I think it was with John. But anyway, I want to get you on the show. I want to get John on the show. I want to get RJ on the show. And I want to get my brother Tom on the show from a few months ago. Now, he was on the show only once, but he was great. He's back in Massachusetts, so he'd have to be over the phone. But these are all, like, I would record them at certain various points. Like, I would do 15 minutes with Jason, 15 minutes with that person. You know, having on every guest in the show's history, with the exception of Haley, who barely even talked in the episode from a few months ago. Check that episode out to believe it. It was interesting, to say the least. Who's your favorite wrestler? Roman Reigns. What? We didn't talk about that. Quiet, woman. That's what I would say. Anyway, I didn't actually say that. I'm not an abusive boyfriend like Del Rio.
Okay.
Hashtag fuck you, Alberto. Last time you're a piece of
Okay.
shit.
Okay.
I'm gonna knock your ass out this fucking belt. Fuck you. Anyway, guys, for Jason, I'm Graham GSM Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road. Too sweet.